Beats.
What's happening, everybody? As you guys seen from our time-lapse clip at the beginning of this video, we got ourselves another 4150 Holly on the bench, getting worked on. This is for Mr. Bill with the 69 Chevelle out in Caseville. If you guys can remember, we already did a different carburetor for him. We did an 850 dual feed double pump mechanical secondary carburetor for him. But once we installed it, we were trying to get the car fine-tuned in. We got it running pretty decent, but I can only get a quarter of a turn out of the air-fuel mixture screws, and anything more, it starts to get real rich again out of the tailpipes, a little bit of black smoke coming out of them, which I thought maybe it was, he had an ignition problem too. I know. He had an ignition problem too. He actually had he has an MSD box mounted on his inner fender wall there, and he was running one of them HEI distributors, which I have. Oh yeah, it's right over here. He had one of this kind of setup in it, which this is just a standard HEI distributor with the bypass for MSD. You got your green and white wires here that run down to your magnetic pickup that's on your distributor here. This is what actually sends the signal to a control box, which goes here. You got your black ignition control box, and then it would come out and then plug into your cap, your HEI cap, and then you would hook a 12-volt power source to that, and then it would run. Well, on this setup is the same thing as what Mr. Bill had. MSD offers a jumper kit that comes here and it just plugs into the magnetic pickup plug here, runs across and comes out, and this would plug into an MSD box, same way a Pro Billet distributor would. So I talked him into getting rid of that setup and going with an actual Pro Billet MSD distributor, which we did. I got that all installed. We got the car fired up. But I can only get a quarter turn. And he told me that his last tuner that messed with that carburetor that we just got done rebuilding, he actually worked for Holly. He was out of Troy. I can't remember his name. And even if I did, I'm not the type to throw anybody under the bus, which you guys know that. So it is what it is. We're just working forward to get his issue fixed. So basically, I told him, where is the carburetor that came factory on his engine? And he showed me this. This is what actually came with that. This is an 850 dual feed, single pump, vacuum secondary carburetor, Holly. So I told him I would be putting this carburetor back on here. If this is what came from GM when he bought that 502 crate engine, because when you buy them, it comes from carburetor to oil pan, and they're dynoed and everything, and that was what was on here. So I told him, why don't we go through, get this one all rebuilt, cleaned up, and stick this back on, and I bet you it'll run a whole bunch better. So that's what we're in the process of doing, guys. We started tearing it down. We found the squirter's got the old paper washers in there, which are all deteriorated and shitty. The squirter looks like, I mean, for as many miles, I don't know how in the hell they're getting these carburetors so black on the inside. They look like they've been backfired and caught on fire again. But we're going to go through. I have a brand new squirter for them. I got the brand new steel gaskets for them instead of the paper. We're going to put in a set of brand new 4.5 power valves. These ones been in there. They feel a little stiff and there's some corrosion on them. So we're going to get rid of them for them. And if that was backfired, these could be blowed. So we're going to set a brand new 4.5 power valves in it. We're going to change out the diaphragm for the auxiliary pump. I got a brand new green one there. I got brand new gaskets for the float bowl and the metering block. So we're going to go through and just get everything all cleaned up, ready to go, and get it all set. Make sure our transfer slots on the bottom are all correct and set. And we're going to get everything 100 for them. And we're going to get this, when the wife gets out of work, we're going to take a trip out to Caseville and go drop this off to him. I've had it for a couple weeks, but I've had stuff going on. He had family in town also for the holidays, so he wasn't able to do anything. So, but we're going to get this 850 dual feed single pump vacuum secondary carburetor all rebuilt and ready to go for him and get it back out there. I know we've did quite a few of these videos, but this is actually a different kind of setup than what we're usually working with. We're usually working with the dual feed mechanical 4150s, where this one is dual feed single pump vacuum secondary. So we're going to get her all ready to go, and we're probably going to end up throwing in some clips of the Blazer also on this video if we have time. So I'm going to put you back on the tripod, and we're going to get back to work and get this thing going for him. Alrighty. We just got everything put back together for Mr. Bill. All new gaskets, all new accelerator pump, diaphragm, new 4.5 power valves, new gaskets for the squirter, brand new squirter. I think this carburetor will work out a whole bunch better than that 850 dual feed double pump mechanical. This is an 850, it is going on a 502 big block Chevy GM crate engine. But like I said in the past, if that's the carburetor that GM put on that 502 when they advertise it and the dyno, and they dyno it, then that's the carburetor I believe should be on that engine. So as you guys can see there, I was telling you earlier, there's a couple differences. One difference is you only got, it's a 2-corner idling, it's not 4-corner. So you only got air fuel mixture on the front. The rears don't have it. There is no auxiliary pump on the rear. So that's why they call it dual feed, single pump, vacuum secondary 850. So we're going to get this back out to Mr. Bill. And we got everything. We got the auxiliary pump lever all readjusted up. I think it'd be good to go. Hopefully there's no underlying issue like an intake vacuum leak or something like that, which shouldn't make it run rich. If anything, that would make it run lean. So, but we also just had a little critter come into our yard. I'm going to insert a video of it. I think it's a coyote, a little baby coyote. I took some meatloaf out and threw it out to him. Then he took off into the woods. He was out there eating apples, but he had a limp. One leg was it looked like he had a hurt leg. So I felt bad. I threw him a piece of meatloaf out there, and then he took off. So I'm going to insert that video clip here. First time I've ever seen a coyote during the day. And like I said, I think it's a little baby coyote. And it was hanging one leg and running on 3 legs. So I don't know if it got hit by a car or tangled in a fence or what have you. But I've never seen a coyote during the day within that short distance. I mean, I walked out, Tyler and Danielle and the grandbabies were here. They making noise, and it wasn't skittish. It didn't take right off. It was over there eating. So looked like to me it was pretty hungry, and it was pretty skinny. So I went in the house. We had some leftover meatloaf from dinner the other night, just chilling in the fridge. So I threw him a big ass chunk of meatloaf, and it hit the ground, and it didn't even take off running then. And you seen his nose go up in the air, and he went over there, sniffed out that meatloaf, snatched it up, and took off into the woods. And there's still a little chunk out there, so whether he's come back and get it or not, but hopefully Thor ain't out there when he does decide to come back, if he comes back, because Thor might be old, but he ain't no easy win. But again, I don't know if that, if that coyote has rabies or what. I wouldn't want him fighting and getting into a fight and biting each other just for that fact. So if I can run him off with some food in his mouth, good to go. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wait for the wife to get home. She should be home anytime. We're going to get this carburetor put back in Mr. Bill's box here, which I went all by. It came with the sheet that came with his crate engine for this carburetor. So I went all back by factory settings, factory jetting, factory power valves. So he should be good to go there. And we'll get this out to him. I don't know if we're probably not going to install it out there today, but at least I can get it back out to him in case he wants to change it out. And then we're going to come back here, and I think Tyler's going to bring his Monty over, and we're going to change the rear springs out. He bought a set of Moroso racing springs for the back of the Monty. And I want to go over and check his plugs out and see where timing mark's at. And maybe give him a couple more degrees of timing. He's got another race coming up soon, I think by next weekend, for the number 3 spot. And we're going to tune on the engine a little bit, see if we can get a little bit more out of it. So he should cover that guy fairly easy, I think. I think there's a lot of twisting, all that, the lifting that the front end does, and then the twist of the car, the way it's going to the driver's side and tearing up the tire. I think if we can get a lot of that motion out of the car, and just make the front end come up and it squat a little bit in the back and go, that's gonna, you're talking, a tenth of a second. Time all that stuff happens, you're losing time. So if we can get that suspension dialed in to where it ain't so loose and twisty, I think it's gonna make the car a little faster too. But anyways, like I said, I'm gonna wait for the wife to get home. When she gets home, we're gonna jump in the truck, head north. We'll drop this off to Mr. Bill, and we'll catch you guys when we're on the road or when we get back to the house and we're working on the Monty. Hang with us. We got one of the rotors mocked up. I gotta find some washers. Why they don't have washers on the outside of these bearings? They take a big flat washer that sits in between the bearing and the nut, and these didn't have it on there. The old rotors didn't have it on, and neither did the new ones. So I'm gonna have to go to the hardware and get the nut or the washer that'll fit that. So the wife just got home. We're gonna load up Mr. Bill's carburetor, and I'm gonna take one of the bearings with me and see if I can come up with a couple old washers. So we'll check back in here in a few. Alright everybody, we just left Mr. Bill's house, heading back towards the house. He was pretty happy that we got the original carburetor for his 502 all situated. I made him a deal. I traded him some parts. I got this fuel filter for the Blazer, 40 micron. You can actually take it apart and clean it. So saved him a little bit of money. And we got some parts for the Blazer, which it's an Aeromotive 10AN 100 or 40 micron fuel filter, which he showed me the receipt that was $156 for this fuel filter. So I told him just give me some gas money for coming up, and works out both ways. He saves some money, I get some parts for the Blazer. We're all happy. But I just wanted to get you a quick check in, I guess you could say. We just stopped and got us nice cold water, and we're heading back towards the house. All right, we're taking a little pit stop here. We're gonna get us a burger, take home. We're at that Bayshore Tavern on the way home. We had a nice little Corvette sitting here. Big block Chevy, dual quads. Half of it's black, half of it's orange. Kind of a weird scheme. Pretty cool.
Yeah, he drove all the way to 30. Well, he's probably not even there yet. Actually, no, he's going to South Carolina. Oh, yeah, he's not even close to here. Well, it might be. What they say, 17 hours? Yeah. So he did it, he's only about 5 hours. Depending where he's going with it, that state. Yeah, Johnny was asking me, you talked to Ricky? And I said, not the last day or so. I said Friday. Phil? Yeah. Yesterday morning, yeah.
Well, everyone, that's probably going to wrap up this video. We're going to head home, get some dinner. I got to get some washers for them bearings for the rotors on the Blazer, and all the hardware all the hardware stores up here were closed, so probably got to wait till tomorrow to go ahead and get them. But as usual, guys, I really appreciate everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next video. All right, bye-bye.